Hi guys, it's Miss Natasha from Quincy Public Library, and I am out at Mill Creek Farm today to talk pumpkins and gourds and corn mazes, oh my, with Theresa Roegge. Theresa, thanks for letting us come out and interview you. And so can you tell me, what's the history of Mill Creek Farm?
So Mike and I started this, we bought the farm, I believe in '94, and we got strawberries started. And soon after the strawberries, they wanted asparagus. And then just for our own kids, we started with pumpkins. And then it kind of developed from there. So actually in 1996, we actually started with the pumpkin patch.
All right, that's what I was gonna ask you. So, all right, what types of pumpkins do you have here?
We have probably 50 to 60 different varieties of pumpkins and gourds. A lot of them, they look a lot alike, but they are genetically slightly different.
I'm learning, because to me, I'm like a pumpkin. So I know there's pumpkins that's special for pie.
Right.
And then pumpkins that are good for carving.
But actually, with the ones that we associate with pie pumpkin, such as this is called pie pumpkin. With this actually, the reason why they call it a pie pumpkin is because in order to make a pie, it takes about 2 cups of the meat or the pulp in it. Okay. And with that, that's about what you're going to get in a small pie pumpkin.
Oh, okay.
And so, but this really wouldn't be you can use it absolutely, but there are better choices for pumpkins to make the pie. But you could absolutely do it with this.
Oh, this is considered.
So if you break a pumpkin open, the meat part is this white part. Yep.
Okay.
And in here, these are the fibrous strands. Okay. And it's harder to see, but because this is a young one, but all of these seeds in here are attached to one of those fibrous strands. And it's those fibrous strands that act kind of like an umbilical cord because they feed the seed. And inside the seed, there is a baby plant.
Okay.
So, an embryo, you got it.
All right. Let's get to now. I've only helped carve out. I've carved one pumpkin in my life, and Miss Natasha did not do a very good job. It looked like a 5-year-old did it. So, but I remember growing up and helping clean out and then making pumpkin seeds.
Exactly. Now, if you guys are thinking about going to get a pumpkin, don't carve it yet. Wait till about the week before. So this year, Halloween is on a Saturday, the 31st, so you would want to wait till about Saturday or Sunday, the 24th or the 25th, just because it will shrivel up like an old woman. Okay. However, you could go and put some Vaseline on there, which will help it to retain its moisture.
It's good to know. What if you want a shrunken woman pumpkin? I guess you can do it ahead of
time. I have already seen pumpkins carved already.
All right,
this year.
They're gung-ho. All right.
Well, start in here.
Definitely.
With some of our varieties of our pumpkins, and granted you don't see the big orange ones, but that's okay because we're going to see those out in the field. So you'll notice that all of these are different varieties. They have different qualities about them. For instance, this is an autumn buckskin, and this would be if you wanted to make pumpkin pies, pumpkin bars, pumpkin donuts, pumpkin everything. This is a great one, and it's called an autumn buckskin. It is brown, and it's got a good thick, it'll be heavier than a son of a gun. This one here, it is a flat white board. A lot of people like to use those for stacking. And if you were going to do the stacking, you would end up using your different colors to kind of make a snowman or something.
Right. Yeah.
Another thing is that you can end up going and taking and making it look like a mushroom.
It does look like I was thinking mushroom. So.
Yep.
Right.
And so just get your different ideas with those. We have some that you can turn into birdhouses, although I will say that we've had a big rush on those this year. And so if you were going to make a birdhouse, you would want either a swan or you would want an apple. And with this is into a beefy part, you would go to drill a hole, but then you would have to go to the library and search out what kind of bird you would want. And the reason is that if you make a big hole in this, you're going to have a big ugly bird in there instead of something really cute. So you might want to go to the library in order to find out what size of hole for for your particular bird that would make a nest in here. Now, it'll end up hollowing itself out as the year goes by. Oh. So it won't be ready right away. In the gourds, we've got lots of different ones. So like that is called a Turk's turban, but I think it looks a lot like a mushroom.
Yeah.
And this one here is a blue Hubbard. We also have red Hubbards, and those are really good for eating as well. So those are smaller ones. We have some, we call these the Super Freak series. So anything that has the wards,
I like them.
They are in the Super Freak. And so, yeah, but a lot of these you could totally eat. This one is a new variety this year. It's called the Pink Heart, and they come in different sizes. But pink is one of the newer colors. I keep waiting for them to come out with the purple one, but they haven't developed it quite yet. Every now and again, we'll get where a blue pumpkin and a red pumpkin mix, and it'll be sort of an ugly color of purple.
Right.
But purple is definitely going to be on its way.
Yeah. Oh, that's neat. I didn't know there was pink. So
yeah.
I love the apple one. I didn't know.
Exactly.
Yeah, it kind of actually reminds me a little bit of a watermelon, like the skin reminds me of a watermelon. So.
It does.
Yeah.
However, I will tell you that if you come out to the farm, you can hold on to this one. This one is from last year. This one, shake it.
Oh, wow.
So inside, you can feel the seeds rattling around. Now feel this one.
And you can't, okay.
So that one is a lot heavier.
Yeah.
Except for that last year, this one would have been way heavier just because
That's right, I thought it was
size.
styrofoam.
And all I did was it will end up, this will end up kind of turning like an ugly color of brown. I don't know if I have any, but this is just paint.
Paint. So you just let it dry out.
You got it. And you could keep this for probably 20 years.
Yep.
You know, the worst thing
nice.
is when you accidentally step on them.
Oh.
So it may have happened to me this year already.
So I was thinking, oh, you can shake it up, but maybe not, because then it would break.
You can totally shake it.
It's like,
just don't step on it.
Just don't step on it and crack it open. All right. Wow, well, thanks. I've learned so much already, so.
So where we're at is we are out into our pumpkin patch, and technically this particular plant here is a gourd plant, and the reason why I can tell is because of the fruit. Now with these, as you're walking through the pumpkin patch, you might want to wear long pants, and the reason for that is that you can see all of these splinters that run up and down on the leaves as well as the spine on these stems. Now, did you know that on pumpkins that there is a male flower and a female flower? The way that you're able to tell is that with the male flower, the male flowers have longer stems. Male flowers cannot produce any pumpkins. So right here, this one here is nice and tall. He's tall because he wants all of the bees and insects to see him. For pumpkins, they need something to help pollinate those flowers. Okay, and so the bees fly from the male flower and this will end up opening up once it gets a little bit warmer out. But what's going to happen is he's going to go down here and along the vine. You'll notice that this one here, this is very close to the ground. This is the female flower. We know that for two reasons. Number one, it runs right along the vine. Number two, this was the flower, and guess what's growing here? We have a type of a gourd. That particular gourd, when it gets larger, is going to look like this one. So with this, you'll notice this particular gourd, or it could be a pumpkin, that they grow right along the vine because the vine is, it goes to the root, and the root is able to get all of the nutrients and water to the pumpkin or to the gourd. So when you're out here, you know, always take a look at a whole bunch of different pumpkins because they all look so different. Some of them are going to be tall, some of them are going to have warts on them. There's going to be a lot of different personalities just like you have.
And then how do you know that they're ready to be picked? Like,
so for this particular gourd, I know it's not ready to pick just because it ends up, it's a little bit soft, okay? The softer that they are, we know it's not going to be ready yet. And they generally take on a deeper color. Most gourds and pumpkins will start out as green and then they will change their colors. But always test for firmness. And another thing is that, see how this is really dark green? or actually this is kind of a light green. The darker green or turning brown for the stem is going to tell you that that pumpkin is going to be ready to pick. Most of ours are ready to pick. We had a really hot summer this year. Yeah. And so there's just a few, which is why we don't have very many flowers.
Yes, yes, they're ready.
Exactly.
They're ready, so come out and get your pumpkins,
exactly,
you know? Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So we end up, if you take a look out here, these are going to be our pie pumpkins, and these are going to end up being our gourds. And with them, you don't see very many dark green ones, although the dark green ones are going in there. Now, the really cool thing is that, did you know that pumpkins can get sunburned?
I did not.
Right. So when you're looking for a pumpkin, be certain to look under those leaves, because that's going to be where they're really trying to hide. They hide under there because they can get sunburned. This year has been a really weird year, and I have not seen any sunburn. But if you see a sunburned one, it's going to, if you have a white pumpkin, there's going to be like a white spot on it, and that's the sunburned portion. Okay. You probably don't want one that's sunburned. Okay. It depends on how far along it is, but it will start to shrivel up and look like me.
Oh, stop. All right, and you have. So is all your pumpkins on this side of the barn, correct?
No.
No? Okay.
No. So here, this is our, generally for my school tours, we didn't know what this year was going to be like. We prepared just the same.
Yes.
So we have our gourds and our pie pumpkins here. Then on the other side of the shed, we have mostly our jack-o'-lantern pumpkins.
Okay.
And really, with the pie pumpkins, you can absolutely turn them into jack-o'-lanterns.
Right. They do it.
So whenever you come to visit the farm, we are open on the weekends, Saturdays and Sundays from noon to 5. And we end up, the hayrack ride will be going. The hayrack ride is absolutely free.
I recommend it.
Yes. And you should be singing or smooching when you're on there. But at any rate, with that is Mike will tell you all about the farm. Now the hay rides are free, and you go around. If you were going to do the corn maze, oh my goodness, you're gonna love that this year.
That's fun too.
This year, we end up with our corn maze. We have a Wild West theme. And so we'll have to go on down there and take a look at some of my cutouts, and then I'll tell you about it.
All right, let's head over. Okay, so I see this is our jack-o'-lantern patch, and
yes,
we'll take a peek at the corn maze too, which is always so much fun. And then is the corn maze, how much does that cost?
The corn maze is, well, I tell you what, it's $3 per person for those who are 4 and older. However, we are doing a special to where if you wanted to go through the corn maze, you could go through the corn maze and get a pie pumpkin for $5.
Oh, well,
so
hey, there you go.
It's a bit of a savings, and you also get the pleasure of going out to pick those.
Yeah.
So.
And you can always get pumpkin pie books at the library, or pumpkin bar, so you can get your corn maze experience, get your pie pumpkin, and maybe cook some stuff at home with books to check out from the library.
One of the books that I totally recommend from the library is a book called Pumpkin Jack. And Pumpkin Jack tells a story about a little boy who ends up, he grows a pumpkin starting from a seed, and it's an amazing story.
Pumpkin Jack. Oh no, we better start requesting some of those. All right. And then one more thing, just because I would have no idea the proper way to pick a pumpkin. So if I came out wanting to get a pumpkin, is there a technique that will get it off? You don't have to show me, but tell me. Like, is it, you don't want to pull it, right? Or?
Well, so first of all is you want to take a look at a lot. Yes. So for instance, like, oh man, this one looks like a good one. Okay? So what I might want to do is, without getting it off the vine, I might want to go and stand it up to see, oh, does it look good on both sides? Oh, look, we've got some worms. You can go fishing too.
Yeah.
You can take it home with you. But you're going to want to go and see about getting the dirt off of it to make certain that there's not any holes. can you believe it? We have mice out here that they love to eat our pumpkins too. So sometimes you have to look for those.
Oh, yeah.
At any rate, if it's a good pumpkin, we have clippers. So where you would want to clip is right here where it runs along the vine, just to get it off. Now when you go to pick it up, don't pick it up by the stem. The reason for that is sometimes the stem ends up, it does break. However, and you'll notice, see how that's got a nice dark green color? It's not a light green color. So that's another way that you know that it's ready. But with this is this stem, it's got those splinters on it. So when you go to pick it up, you want to pick it up from the bottom. And we have wagons and wheelbarrows out here to help you to be able to carry it all the way up the hill.
All right, well, thank you so much. I'm so excited. Now we're gonna go take a look at some pumpkins you decorated and tell you guys about an awesome opportunity at the library. All right, guys, so just to let you know, she let me borrow a copy of Pumpkin Jack. This is what it looks like. I'm gonna make sure that we have some at the library, whether we have to borrow them so you guys can check them out. So here, Theresa has decorated some pumpkins, and she kind of did it to get an idea of just the different kinds of ways you can decorate, and also because the library will be holding a literary pumpkin contest. So you can decorate a pumpkin or gourd as a book character or with a literary theme and enter our pumpkin decorating contest. Submissions must be dropped off at the library between October 19th and October 22nd, and the winners will receive a $25 Chamber Bucks gift certificate. And you can find that information out at the quincypubliclibrary.org for our complete contest rules. So we're not taking carved pumpkins, so it's painting. And she, as you see, there's so many different ideas. This reminds me of a puppy. This kind of reminds me of Minion, or even Mike from
Oh yes, Monsters Inc.
Yes, thank you. I was like, why am I going to blank? Yeah, so these are adorable. So, you know, come out to Mill Creek, do the corn maze, get your pumpkins, decorate them, and enter our contest. Well, Therese, thank you so much for letting me come out today. It's been such an enjoyable time.
Absolutely.
And can you just give us the address of Mill Creek?
Sure, we are 2833 South 48th Street. We are about 1 mile south of John Wood on the same side. We have Mill Creek Farm on the barn. Whenever you go to paint those, you might want to look at getting acrylic paint, or the more interesting can be is a puff paint. It doesn't puff up very much, but it does give this a little bit of texture, and you can definitely tell which is the puff paint and which is just the regular acrylic paint. Definitely. So it gives it more color, more texture. Don't forget that you can end up with using a variety. You don't always have to use an orange pumpkin because there's lots of different colors.
That's right, and you can use a gourd. We've seen people use gourds. So pumpkin or gourd, you pick out what you want, decorate it in whatever book character or literary. It can be, you know, if you want to do a blue pumpkin with the floating face from Great Gatsby, you can do that. Ooh. And we have, there's 4 different age levels. So we'll have the young kids, the tweens, the teens, and adults for the pumpkin contest. Again, thank you so much.
Thanks, it's been fun.
Yes.